Hello, hello. It's been a couple weeks since I've been here. How is everybody? I'll bet notifications aren't going to go out because I haven't streamed for a couple of weeks. Bohika, did you get a notification? I'm so glad you're here. You're just the person I need to talk to. Oh, right on. You got a notification. Very good. That's good to know. I've been gone for a couple weeks. We're going to have a chat about what's going on out here. Hi, Brittany. Lots has been happening. And the weather is not good. I had the opportunity to go away for a couple weeks in a warmer climate. Well, that was a big mistake. Coming back, that is. So what's new and not nice? Right here, you're looking at it right now. It's cold and it's gonna snow tonight into tomorrow. And of course, Denver is sweeping people today. So I came back on Monday and I went out and checked on some people, and then I had to take a couple days off because I had to make sure I didn't have a fever with this spring cold. And I think it's more allergy related than anything, and it calmed down today when it started to become wet. So I think the allergies have calmed down. 2 weeks in your greenhouse. I need to live in a greenhouse. So we're in the warehouses over here, and things have really evolved in the past couple of weeks. Some not good things have been happening. Number one, Denver continues to sweep people out of downtown, further south of the metro area. If anybody's been paying attention to the Major League Baseball debacle over the All-Star game, there in Atlanta, they had that deal, right? And then our little tyrant governor decided that all of a sudden COVID was over and we could have the All-Star game here in Denver. So there is quite a bit of homeless population around the baseball field downtown. And Denver is, I guarantee it, going to continue to be super aggressive with sweeping the homeless. So today, they're sweeping an area for the third time in about 3 weeks. And so those people are again locating into this area, and most of it is tents being set up in the street. Remember, we have a high concentration of RVs in this area, and some of them are not so good with being tidy. So as you know, I do a lot of work with sanitation because that's really the issue that everybody cares about, is the trash. And nobody really cares about their mental health, their trauma, their addictions, whatever their reasons are for remaining homeless. None of that matters, because at that point when the focus is trash, it's about how to get rid of them and the trash. Well, while I was away, somebody decided to make a few posts through the Nextdoor app in regards to the few people that reside over in that other area where you have seen them keep it quite tidy. They're all pretty responsible. In fact, we did a video one day. Rana was over there picking up trash. Just randomly, she walked along the Excel fence and was picking up some trash, just because that's the kind of people they are. So Well, apparently a neighbor over there decided that it would be a good thing to take a picture of them and post it on Nextdoor. Hi, Darlene. Oh, thanks. It's wet, so I'm sick and I'm out in the rain and snow. You know, that's just because of how I roll, because I'm smart like that. So anyway, this guy started this slam fest on Nextdoor while I was gone. And took a picture of, you know, Brenda, our 73-year-old Brenda, who, you know, my last video that I did, Kumar and Associates is prosecuting for trespassing for parking in the shade on a Sunday. Well, that neighbor, for whatever reason, thought it would be a good idea to take a picture of her truck, and post it on Nextdoor and start talking about why everyone needs to call 311 to get rid of these people, because he's tired of them in his neighborhood. Well, first of all, I know where the guy lives. He lives like 6 blocks away from where they're parked. They're nowhere in anyone's yard. They're on a Denver right-of-way, minding their own business. And this guy goes on and on and on Nextdoor and is accusing them of all being addicts, that there's needles everywhere, that there's human feces everywhere. So of course, naturally, my first response was to go ahead and get a porta potty out there, to which I did, because sanitation should be brought with dignity, right? I mean, people just really shouldn't have to struggle to use a toilet. You know, color me skeptical, you know, that the city doesn't want to do that and is instead signed up to continue to sweep them. I'm going to go ahead and take a porta potty out there. So I did. I had a porta potty delivered, although I knew this problem didn't exist. Darlene, yeah, I'm afraid that's what this is going to turn into. So this post is still up, and there's about 200, and I think there were 205 comments this morning when I last looked. And it is the gamut of the soccer moms having a shit fit because it's not safe for their kids to play there. Well, holy hell, if any soccer mom is letting their kids play anywhere in that vicinity, shame on you. And someone should call CPS on your ass, because if you're letting your kids play on that road that's frequently used as a mini highway, well, your kids face danger far more from the traffic than they do the homeless folks. And you know how it goes. So it's just this slam fest about how to get rid of these people. And I just find the harassment to be a tad bit ironic that it just happened to be Brenda again in the picture, and this person that posted this stuff, and I'm not going to name him quite yet. We'll see how far he's going to take this, because he said that he's going to just keep calling until these people are gone, and he's going to get everybody on his bandwagon. And the guy even had the balls to go over there and stand outside of his truck and take pictures of everybody. He's never talked to any of them. He claims that he's got all the information he needs about them from the cops, which I find that hard to believe, because not even the cops have the information about those people. I mean, most of them do. Yeah, shower and washing clothes isn't, trust me, I am trying to find a way to make some of that happen, but the money's just not there. The rec centers are starting to open again, so they are starting to be able to do that. Some of them have other resources to be able to do that. But my point being, again, here we are. Denver's just going to continue the sweeps. This area is just going to continue to fill up with people. And the harassment is going to get worse, because people are getting pissed because the city is not responding to their complaints. So they're taking to Nextdoor and doing shitty things like that, trying to get them prosecuted, instead of coming out and trying to be and just a slight bit of a solution to what ails them. The trash bothers you, do something about it. I did. Can you not even have a conversation with these people? Here's another interesting tidbit of some information while I was gone. I got a voicemail from the individual that oversees the homeless outreach sanitation issues with Denver's Department of Solid Waste. Things were going good before I left. And we had a system with orange trash bags, and the city was giving me those. And the cops and I, we were all working together pretty well. Well, lo and behold, I get this voicemail. You know, Regan, we can't give you any more orange trash bags. And, oh, there's just no resources to keep picking up the trash. Yeah, of course there isn't. Because it's a system that works, and it was showing that it worked. And my people who were out here doing their part, bagging their trash, were calling 311, the same system that this asshat wants all his neighbors to use to call and complain about the homeless not picking up their trash, is the same system that the homeless can use to say, hey, I need some trash pickup out here. I've done the job of cleaning up even my own trash and others, which they were doing very well. And 311 can have that documented system, and the city can keep track of all of the citizens that are complaining and all of the homeless folks and the people that are advocating for them in nonprofit status, working with them to keep the trash under control. We're not going to have it. Denver's just not going to allow it because it's working. So that's fantastic. So now I have to decide how much of that fight I'm going to take up, which is probably not going to be a lot, because I want to start focusing directly on individuals again. Don't get me wrong. There are some total assholes out here that just have no respect for trash accumulation and setting up scrap yards. If Denver really wanted to address that, they could, but they're not gonna. They're gonna make it a total disastrous shit show and then go, look, this is horrible. Everybody has to be swept. We have to come in here because it's a public safety hazard, you know, for the children and the soccer moms. Except over here in this industrial area, the issue is taking up street parking, and it is getting worse. And I do have some compassion for the businesses in here when they don't have any street parking, because the homeless folks have nowhere to go. It hasn't been a big secret that there have been plenty of places that Denver has swept them from that could have been spaces where we could have managed people. There is such a thing. But no, Denver just wants to keep blowing up the issue so it looks like a bigger problem than it really is. On top of that, this past Saturday, an RV downtown, parked downtown, blew up, caught on fire, whatever. I wasn't there, I don't know. And I don't know the people. But of course, the story the press wants to put out is that the director of public safety for the city of Denver had to sign an executive order because the lawsuit right now that's going on about Denver, the federal lawsuit about Denver not being allowed to sweep people without notice, Denver claims that they were shown no exception for an emergency situation. So they could not evacuate this entire camp without somebody having to risk their signature on the line to go in and tell everybody they had to leave after this camper blew up. Then the press got a hold of it, and the story was that we think it's a meth lab, a meth or a hash lab. All evidence points to this being a drug lab. Which kind of drug lab? We're not really sure at this point. Yeah, that's the story out in the press. And that's because there are people out here that are being irresponsible with their propane tanks. Denver still has all the leverage to do an investigation. The fire department is out here all the freaking time. They know exactly what's going on in all of these camps, especially in mine, okay? Because if I see a hazardous situation, there is somebody in the fire department that I can reach out to and go, since this is your job, let's address it so as to not ignore it for it to become a bigger situation. All this bullshit about Denver just being caught off guard, that, you know, there could have been extreme loss of life in this last camper explosion. It's all theatrics. Every single bit of it is theatrics. And it's to paint this picture. So in response, people have been noticing the homeless more, of course, right? And the people that are advocating for them, like myself and some of my volunteers and one other organization, we're becoming the spotlight for the enablers. We don't help anyone. We just make the problem worse because essentially we keep them alive. And trying to help people survive is wrong when other people want them to die. So I cannot tell you how many ridiculous messages that I have gotten on Facebook just this week. And it's because I started chiming in on the Nextdoor app with these people that literally want these people to be left to die, okay? And I suggested to them that they be part of a solution. If they'd like to donate to my nonprofit, they can, feel free to do that. Well, then it turned into a slam fest on me and my nonprofit about enabling people. Liberals do target poor people. They sure the hell do. When it doesn't fit when it doesn't soothe their eyes, you better believe that liberals target poor people. This isn't just a Republican. For those of you that think that I pick a political side on how people treat the homeless, I don't, because I know the facts. I know exactly how the general population treats the homeless. And if they don't like what they see, they don't give a shit. They rely on government to fix all of their social ills, left and right. And if the truth be told, my biggest donors are Republicans. Not gonna lie. They do want to be part of a solution without government. They do know that incarceration is expensive because Republicans are fiscally conservative. When liberals want people incarcerated, they don't give a shit how much it costs. Remember, because money falls from the sky. When it fits your agenda, there is money coming out everybody's ass for anything they want. So please do not turn these discussions into political bantering, because the entire population is guilty of it. So, back to this piece about Denver continuing to sweep these people. This area is going to fill up, and it's going to get out of control. How is Denver going to respond to it out here? I do not think the Denver Police Department has a huge interest, at least out in Southwest Denver, of being the force that the city expects it to be. However, will leadership stand up to it? This whole city has been lied to. Everybody in the city of Denver has been lied to about how the homeless population is being addressed and the money that is being spent. We were told through the press that we were going to get this early intervention team out of Hancock's office, out of the mayor's office, and they were going to be out here doing the things that the cops shouldn't and don't want to be doing, which is getting people connected. Because there's this messaging that none of the homeless want to be connected. It's a lie. The city cannot follow through on the shit that it says it's going to do. And instead of admitting that they don't have their ducks in a row, it's the easiest thing in the world to blame the homeless. It's all their fault. I can go down this row and I can name people that are waiting for the city to follow up on action for them. I got a 69-year-old woman. You've heard me talk about her before. She's up here in this other camper, waiting for months for a protective action room that the city has said, we have plenty of COVID money for anyone susceptible. We're going to send people out and we're going to find those people. I have been trying for months. And you know what they tell me I get to do? I get to take her down to the coalition and stand in line at 6 in the morning to more than likely be turned away because it's a First